What's going on, guys? Real quickly, I want to put my notes out there for this Mark Williams trade. Now, it's Mark Williams to the Phoenix Suns for the number 29 pick and the 2029 first round pick, which is interesting in its own right because earlier you could say in the year the offer they gotten from the Lakers was way better compensation. But either way, it seems that they were always trying to move him. And as they move him, almost 3-4 months later after they initially tried to, I think almost 5 months at this point. Either way, I think this deal for the Suns is great. They had a prior existing relationship from their deal with the Nick Richards and even the Joseph Nurkic, Cody Martin dealing. So another organization that goes back to, I know it's obviously not James Jones doing the dealing, it's now Brian Gregory, but Charlotte walks away with a late first round pick where they can probably get a guy like a Ryan Kalkbrenner. We'll find out who they end up drafting. And the Suns go into this year now with Khaman Maluach, who they just drafted at the 10th pick. They also now have Mark Williams that they'll have his restricted free agency and the ability to extend him starting, I believe, in October to a rookie extension, which if they can maybe negotiate favorable terms, they can do something along the lines where they can put, injury protective laden, language in the contract. So if he does get injured, they can take off of the guarantee on the years, similar to what we saw with like Zion Williamson and other players who have injury risks. Now, the Suns had to do a deal where they upgraded their big man depth, and that's just as a result of the fact that this was a deal or a problem for this team. They weren't athletic enough at that position. They didn't have a true rim protector, but at the same time, the biggest problem was teams were able to get to that second level and get downhill and weren't afraid to challenge them at the rim. And this was evident. They were the third worst offensive rebounding team, the 13th worst defensive rebounding team, the 6th worst rebounding team in general. Now, they were 14th in blocks, while also being a team that their opponents were scoring, 10th worst, actually, my apology, 10th best. I don't know how to phrase this, 20th would be the ranking, but they actually were a really good 2-point field goal percentage team. So ironically, even though they didn't have a true rim protector, people weren't scoring great at the rim, but at the same time, they weren't doing a good job of setting up those fast break transition opportunities. Being such a bad offensive rebounding team, weren't creating second chance opportunities for either putbacks or, they kick the ball out for an easy 3-point shot, and really just hampering the full ability of their offense. And it was partially because of that lack of a big man, and also having a big man will allow them to run more pick and rolls, and that creates more opportunities, as when you run a pick and roll, you can either have a triple threat now of a pass, dribble, or shoot opportunity. And I think this just opens it up, and you take 2 swings with Maluach, and if he's really good, you eventually trade Mark Williams if you do extend him, or Maluach now gets to get groomed and isn't a guy who has to be rushed and is able to be part of the bench unit to eventually replace Mark Williams when he is ready, and then they can move off of Mark Williams. So it ends up setting themselves up for a really good opportunity.